Hello, everybody, and welcome to Aether Drift Draft. We're in Arena today, and we're going to spend some time getting from Bronze 3, I don't know why I'm not in Bronze 4, all the way to Mythic in Aether Drift Draft. So I've drafted a fair amount of this format because it was the PT format. That being said, I haven't played it in about a month, so it should be a good time. So let's not waste any time and let's just fire it off. All right, and here we are with our pack one, pick one. So there is a couple of good cards. So let's look at our rares first. Kaladin is a great rare if you're in red-white. The problem with this set is that it's not very color balanced, and green is much better than the rest of the colors. And so I don't really want my pack one, pick one to be red-white, especially when there's a great green-blue card in my pack. Seed of Arm is very cool. It's got an ability that says green, green, blue, X, and it puts counters on it. And then it makes all of your creatures have base power and toughness equal to its power. This card is super cool. It is two colors. Other good cards in this pack. Lagran's good in green-white, but it touches white, which is relatively rough. We had Migrating Ketrodon as the best common in the set. It's A+, 6 mana for a 6/6 with reach. It gains 4, it cycles. I think I'm going to take the Seed of Arm. I think Hedron might be a slightly stronger card, but I want to explore this rare a little bit today. All right. Good cards in this pack. The strongest cards in this pack are probably Thundering Broodwagon and Outpace Oblivion. Teamer is not bad colors to be in, but I don't really think my immediate reaction is to want to go into 3 colors. This would have been a reason to take Ketrodon in the first pack. Keen Buccaneer is a card I'm relatively high on that I know not everybody is on the same pace. Lagak is a pretty good 2-drop. I think I like the Thundering Broodwagon, so even though we took this green-blue card, I'm going to take the Broodwagon and we'll figure it out from there. All right, so now we have 1/2, where when you discard cards, it gets counters. A Big Red Dragon. Runover is a great green card. This set has, it's lacking removal comparative to other sets, and so I draft Runover probably a little bit more highly than I would draft other bite effects in sets. And so I think I'm going to take this Runover just to make sure that we have enough removal. All right. The only green card in this pack is Bestow Greatness, which is not a bad card, but also not really where I want to be for my pack one, pick 4. Guidelight Pathmaker is very cool in artifact decks. That's not really the direction our cards are taking us in currently, but it's not terrible. Spike Spitter is a good card if we play red. I think because we took this Thundering Broodwagon, I'm going to kind of ignore the Seed of Varma, and I'm going to start looking into green-black. These are colors you should typically be pretty happy to be in, and so I'm going to take this Chitin Gravestalker. Okay, Road Rage is fairly good removal. It does X damage to target creature, where X is the number of mounts and vehicles. We do already have 1 vehicle. Green has a lot of mounts, but black does not really have a lot of mounts, and in general, vehicles are kind of stinky. We have seen several Dune Drifters, so there's a chance we're passing the person to our left into black-white, but it's a little bit awkward of an archetype. And I think Ripclaw Wrangler is a pretty terrible card, actually. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the best card in the pack, which is this Road Rage. And, we'll see where the draft takes us. Okay, so from here we have Defend the Rider as our green card. It makes a pilot or gives something hexproof or indestructible. I'm not crazy on this card. Voyage Home would be if we were in a blue-white artifact type deck, which is nowhere near where we are currently. I'm a little nervous that our colors are super closed off. Huldrifter's a pretty mediocre card, but if blue ends up being open in the next pack, it's not a terrible card to have. And honestly, all the cards in this pack are rather underwhelming. So I'm between Defend the Rider and Huldrifter. I think we definitely want to play green, so I'm just going to take the Defend the Rider. Okay, so we have a 5/5 Flying Dragon. Card's not terrible. Adrenaline Jockey. Keen Buccaneer is I think, a great card. I think it's pretty underrated. Green Blue's not a terrible place to be. Ideally, I think with our Thundering Broodwagon and our Gravestalker, our black cards are a little bit stronger than our blue cards here. But I think I'm going to take Keen Buccaneer just because this Archfiend Demon is not something that really excites me. And this makes me want to play blue a little bit more. Okay, so in this pack we have a Black-White Verge. There's a 2/2 that starts your engines that can draw a card, a Deathless Pilot. Oh, Thunderhead Gunner. I just looked at all the cards. Thunderhead Gunner is a top common in this set. I think the only reason it doesn't rival Ketradon or like Hazard of the Dunes in my mind is because it is red. And so this is a sign to me that red is open or it's just not being valued. And so I'm going to go ahead and take this Thunderhead Gunner. Thunderhead Gunner, I think, is just like the best card in that pack by a lot. Okay, so we've got a couple good cards here. I don't hate this Path Cruiser card. It gets a land. It is a little awkward. Its crew is decently expensive, and I don't really think we're in the colors for it. I do like this Velocitor in aggressive decks. I'm not really sure that's where we are currently. I think I'm going to take this Siphon Fuel. It's just decent removal. We're a little bit everywhere with our colors currently, but we'll figure that out in the next pack. Okay, we have Spell Pierce, another Keen Buccaneer, or a Black-Red land. We're definitely in green, and I think red seems to be pretty open. I'm between the Black-Red land and the Keen Buccaneer. I think I'm going to take Keen Buccaneer, although the Black-Red land might be the correct answer. There's a chance I'm just supposed to be dropping blue here and going more into like our Jund colors. I think Howler's Heavy is a phenomenal card. It is a combat trick most of the time. I very rarely cast it as a creature, but I think this card is super impressive. Nobody ever expects it. I'm super happy to take one this late. I'm going to take this Ticket Tortoise. I don't think we're going to end up playing it. I'll just finish out the pack here. All right. So, speaking of our Jund deck, this pack has Far Fortune End Boss. This is a great black-red card. It deals 1 damage to your opponent whenever you attack, and then it makes permanents deal extra damage when you hit max speed, and it also starts your engines. It is also a 4/5 for 4, so it's pretty well statted. Other creatures, Rising, Risen, I can speak English, I promise. Necro Regent. This card's very strong. At max speed, you get a 2/2, but I don't think it's any stronger than our rare. Our blue cards are pretty strong here. I don't really know where we're going in maneuvering this draft. Our green cards are actually pretty underwhelming up until this point. I think I'm going to take Far Fortune End Boss and kind of see where the world takes us. Our other rare in this pack is Bloodghast. Bloodghast is a little underwhelming. It's double black, and so it's a little difficult to cast, and it doesn't do quite enough in limited. Not that I'm ever unhappy to have it, but it's not something I'm excited to be taking. All right, in this pack, Elvish Refueler. This card is, I think, one of like the best uncommons you can draft in the set. It is very, very strong. It makes all of your exhaust things do a lot, but even without those, it's just a strong creature on its own. It gets counters, it gets bigger, it kind of exists on its own. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take Elvish Refueler. I don't think Apocalypse Runner is so sought after. I think there's a good chance that we could wheel this card, and if not, someone's clearly in black-red. I would also consider taking this green black land. I think now especially we want to play green. But I'm going to take the Elvish Refueler, and then we can decide whether we want to be in like the green-blue black space or the green-red black space. I tend to play my draft super open. I think by this point, most people would have chosen a direction. Whether it's right or not, who knows? Sometimes I think I stay a little too open in drafts, but I'm just taking good cards, you know? Alright, this pack is a Fearless Swashbuckler. It is a 3/3 with haste. Vehicles have haste, and whenever you attack, if a pirate and a vehicle attacked, draw 3 cards and discard 2. I think this is really a blue-red card. I don't think it ever really does anything in the teamer decks, or decks that touch the colors otherwise, and so I don't think I'm super interested in it. Haunted Hellride, I do think is very good, but I don't know if black is the support color we want to be playing. I think I'm going to take this Pothole Mole, just keep going on the theme of like good green creatures. It gets lands. Wow. All right, this pack has two phenomenal cards in it. Web Striker Lead is a 3/3 with reach. When you cycle it, it can destroy an artifact or enchantment, which is great in this set. It is double green, so it does have some mana requirements, but there are a lot of artifacts and enchantments that get destroyed. That being said, Ranger's Refueler is also very good. I think Ranger's Refueler puts me in this space of like possibly wanting to ignore some of these cards unless I get a little bit more fixing and just moving into this like green blue exhaust deck. We already have the Refueler. We have two Keen Buccaneers. We have the Seed of Arma. I think Ranger's Refueler is our move to kind of decide what direction we're going to go in, at least in my mind. All right, this pack has another banger of a card. I'm almost interested in taking this black green land just because we have these like possible cards to play if we play black. But Autark Mammoth, this card is a banger. It's a 5/5. When it enters, it makes a 3/3. Then when you saddle it, it can make more 3/3s. It is just like A plus, big green creature, does good things. Super happy to have it in my deck. Um, Okay, this pack has a Boom Scholar. I think this card is just okay. It has Stall Out. I also think that card is just okay. Other than that, not really a whole lot of things going on for green blue. There's a starting column if we want some sort of fixing for these cards. The problem with Thundering Broodwagon is that it's a difficult card to splash because it does require a double splash. But I do also think that there's a chance we want to play our red cards. Like we have this Thunderhead Gunner and this Road Rage. I'm going to take the starting column because the rest of the cards are kind of uninteresting to me. And this can possibly help us splash some of our other cards. Okay, so there's a 3/2. I think 2-drops are decently important in this set, but not crazy. So I'm not super upset taking that. There's a Gilded Goda if we wanted to play more red cards, but I don't think we do. If we were going to be sticking in this black-red direction, I would be taking the Thrill Seeker. This card's very good, and it's very good with Far Fortune and Boss. But I really like where our exhaust package is going here. I think I'm going to take the Omnivore. I think it's just a slightly stronger card for this package, which is kind of where I want to be. I'm going to take this Howler's Heavy, I think. There's not really anything too exciting in this pack. I do think you can main deck like one Broken Wings in this format, but I'm not terribly excited, and I really like Howler's Heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and take a second one. Midnight Mangler, I think this card's a banger. It's a 3/3 creature. It does need to be crude, but on their turn, it's a great blocker. And especially with these exhaust decks, like we kind of want to go to the late game and use all of our mana. And I think this card does a very good job of getting us there. So let me go ahead and take that. The Apocalypse Runner did wheel, so I was right. I don't really like this Jaguar card. I think it's just like decently understated to the rest of the stuff in the set. So I'm going to go ahead and take this removal spell, and maybe we splash black because we have some decent removal here. I don't ever really want to be splashing the Gravestalker because it doesn't super connect to the like mechanic of a green blue deck, but yeah, we have it. It's there. One of the picks that I kind of skimmed over was this. Where'd it go? Camera Launcher. I don't love this card, but it does do things in the exhaust deck, so I went ahead and took it. Mendicant Core is a cool card, but we're not really in an artifact deck, and so I don't think that's the direction I want to go with splashing for that. This 9/7 is shockingly impressive, but I almost like this Stampeding Scurryfoot a little bit more. It's a 1/1. It has an exhaust effect. It's great with Elvish Refueler. It's great with Ranger's Refueler. It just does very well within our synergy, and I really like 1-drops in this format. Playing a 1-drop just feels very good, especially for our deck that kind of want to get to the late game. I think we have enough things that are kind of payoffs that help us get through the game that I'm not too worried about taking this 9/7. Also, there's still a chance we want to splash, and it is triple green, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Scurryfoot. All right. This pack has Voyager Glidecar. This card's okay in like aggressive red-white decks, but that's not really where we are. Back on Track's a pretty cool card. It makes a pilot and returns a creature, but I don't want to play black for it. Nimble Thopterus is not a bad card. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this run over. For the same reason the other one, we like having removal. It's some of the cheapest, most efficient removal in green, so we'll go ahead and take that. It'll possibly keep us out of playing our other colors. Okay, so this pack has a Kaladin, which we're obviously not taking. Bounce Off. I actually think this card is way more premium than most unsummons are. I am inclined to take it. Let's see, if we take these cards out of our deck, I just want to see how many cards we're at. 18. We're pick 3. So it does look like we're going to be able to play a 2-color deck. If I was concerned from here about not being able to play this 2-color deck, I would take this Highlands to possibly play our Gunner and our Road Rage, but I'm pretty happy taking this Bounce Off, and so I'm going to do that, and hopefully we can stick in our colors. Okay, there's a great removal spell in this pack for us, Flood the Engine. There is another Howler's Heavy. We do have two. I would be happy to take another one, but Flood the Engine's much better. There is also this Fang Druid Summoner, which when it enters, it searches for a card with no abilities, which we do have one. We have the Omnivore. And so this card's not terrible, but it's not statted incredibly well. If we had the 9/7 in our deck already, I think I would consider taking this, but Flood the Engine's a very good removal spell, and so I'm going to go ahead and take it. We don't die to any crazy bombs. There's a couple great cards in this pack. I don't think we want to play red, so I'm not going to consider the Broadside Barrage. There's another Flood the Engine. I think we're a little light on creatures, so I'm going to go ahead and take Sky Strike Engineer. These 1/3 flyers are way more premium in this set than they normally feel like they are, and I think we're pretty okay on removal. We have 2 Runovers, we have a Flood the Engine, we have Howler's Heavy, which are like pseudo removals, and a Bounce Off. I'm just a little worried about our creature counts. I'm going to go ahead and take this. Okay. Oh, and there's a great card for our colors. Sky Serpent Seeker. It's a great card. It's a 1/1. It gets lands off the top of your deck. It gets counters. It is flying. It is death touch. It has a million words on it. It works great with our other exhaust abilities. Super happy to take a Signpost Uncommon. Ooh, bangers. There's lots of great cards in this pack. Aether Siphon, I love this card. It is one of my favorite cards in the set. You mill your opponents out a lot, but the drawing the cards and the value you get from this card is just super great. I do think I'm going to take Pit Automaton. Our deck is really doing the exhaust thing very well. Pit Automaton helps pay for our exhaust abilities. It can make them happen twice. I think Pit Automaton is just a great card in this archetype. Okay, there is a 2/2 flyer, which I'm not sure would be making our deck, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take it. I like the 2/2 flyer more than the 3/3 on the ground. I think flyers are just a little bit more valuable in this set. There's another Nimble Thopterist. We'll go ahead and take that. We're not going to need to play the starting column because we are only playing 2 colors. I actually kind of like Spectral Interference in this set. We don't have a Hole Drifter yet, so I do think I'm going to take the Hole Drifter. If we already had one of these, I probably would have taken the other card. Broadcast Rainbow is a great white card. I'm just going to take it so it's not there because there's nothing in our colors. We're not going to be playing that starting column. So we kind of just cut all of our things that were not in our colors. And I took the starting column out because I only really want to play it if we're fixing, and we're going to need cuts from here anyway. Wow. Can't believe Broadside Barrage is this late. Maybe we should have taken a little bit more fixing to possibly play our red cards, but I think I'm pretty happy with where our deck ended up. I do think pack 1, pick 1, I probably would have taken the... I wanted to take Seed of Arma kind of for science, you know, like it's one of those things I do to learn. But I think the Tetradon that was in the pack was probably a little bit better. I don't think this is a great deck for Defend the Rider. It does give things hexproof, but we don't really make use out of our pilots very much. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And this deck definitely wants 17 lands. It's all of the exhaust decks are super mana hungry. What else do I want to cut from here? I like Howler's Heavy a lot. I really enjoy this card. I think maybe it's this Nimble Thopterist. I'm pretty happy with where our top end is, and I think often we're going to be wanting to spend our mana on our exhaust abilities rather than our creatures. Camera Launch is also just okay, and we have a good amount of 3-drops. But I think with Refueler and Refueler, I think it's funny that they have the same name. I'm going to go ahead and cut a Thopterist. So I'm pretty happy with this. This deck looks very coherent. It's got removal. It's got creatures. It does look like we should be playing more blue than green. I always have to check that. So let's go ahead and start playing some matches. All right. Here we are going into game number 1. Our first opponent's gold. Us in little old bronze. We could never beat a gold player. This hand looks good. I do wish we had like an actual 2-drop rather than just being able to cycle the Howler's Heavy on turn 2. We did have a pretty good density of 2-drops in our deck, but I am perfectly happy. We have 2 very, very strong 3-drops. We got a Mammoth. I think we're pretty happy with this hand. It has lands and spells. Wicker Folk. This is a great card. I don't think we saw a Wicker Folk the entire draft now that I'm thinking about it. That would have been one of the things that pushed us a little bit more into black. There was just never really anything. It just seems like people were valuing the removal a little bit lighter, which makes sense. We're in bronze. 5 mana removal probably doesn't seem as premium. I just like having any removal in the set. So we did draw a nice 2-drop. So we played this Pit Automaton. That makes me pretty happy. Now we drew another 2-drop. We don't have a second green still. Okay, so now we've got some decisions to make. Our Pit Automaton does tap for exhaust abilities, so that's kind of cool. It does also tap for cycling. I want to play one of my 3-drops because I want to play something mana efficient. I think I want to play the Keen Buccaneer first. I want to make sure we're hitting our land drops and possibly get to cast our spells. And I value having the Vigilance creature with the counter a little bit more than the Elvish Refueler. Also, I'd rather this die than the Elvish Refueler. I value the Elvish Refueler a little bit higher than I value the Keen Buccaneer. And so I'm going to go ahead and play the Keen Buccaneer. Right, they played a Wretched Doll. It's a 3/1, fine card. One of the other reasons I love Pit Automaton in this set is it blocks really well. I'm going to go ahead and block this. If they have a trick, options, they can have Bestow Greatness, which I'd want out of their hand anyway. They can have Maximum Overdrive. I am just going to call them on their... Oh, Fang Guardian. I didn't think about Fang Guardian. That's actually a really good one. Got a little bit blown out, but I don't think we wanted to take the damage. Alright, so now this will become a 3/4, which does not block this creature very well, but it does if we cycle our Howler's Heavy. So I think I'm going to play this island, and my first instinct is to play Engineer with a plan to block and cycle our Howler's Heavy. So I guess we can attack. If they want to block, then we can go ahead and kill their creature now. Alright, we'll just do that. This is one of those things where I always say, if your opponent is doing an attack like this, you should sit and think. Like, it doesn't seem like a very good attack for us, so maybe you wouldn't want to block. It's the same reason they had the 3/1, but I didn't value my creature high enough to not take that block. Alright, so they're going to start getting some speed. This thing does get lifelink, which is not ideal. I do want to play my Mammoth next turn, but we still don't have a second green. I don't know if we want to start trying to find that. We can't play our Refueler and our Omnivore because we only have 1 green. My cat is coming from under my computer. I think... I don't think I want to trade... Hello, Luna. With only one of these creatures, I'm going to start by drawing a card, I think, so I can make a little bit more of a decision about what I want to play. I think I'm going to discard the Omnivore. I think Thopterist is a little bit better here. The Omnivore helps us spend our mana a little better next turn. Do we want to play another Keen Buccaneer instead of the Refueler? I don't think so. Play the Refueler now. Luna, are you having fun? Yeah, I don't want to trade this for one of these creatures, which is what would happen, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass. Loons, you joined my lap, and now you're angry at me. Against the rules. Let's go to our basket. What'd you do? Alright. They're going to go ahead and attack with their 3/3 again. It does get lifelink next turn. So there's a chance we want to consider leaving up our Sky Streak Engineer. Alright, they got a 7/2. That's okay. Right, we drew another island. We do play more islands in our deck than forests. Alright, so we can make this a 4/5 if we were to attack, which I still don't think trades very well. Also, if we do that, then we can't make our engineer big enough to block the oil gorger. I don't love that. They are playing black, so I'm a little concerned about like holding this up and just my plan being to like block and exhaust. But I kind of want to stop this thing from just like murdering me. So I think I'm just going to make them have it. Luna's blocking my camera angle again. She just wants to be involved, you know? You can stay here, but you need to be nice. You can't get mad at me, okay? You're so cute. Oh, hello. She just never really understands when I'm looking at the screen instead of paying attention to her. All right, they're playing. Oh, they're surveilling. Okay. You're purring. I wonder if they can hear that. All right. Pass to attackers. So I do think I'm going to block. If they use a removal spell, I would rather block first, because then I at least don't take the damage. Another Fang Guardian. Okay, well, now we don't have to spend our mana to pump this, because it's not going to kill this creature anyway. So we can use it elsewhere. I guess we'll use it on our Elvish Refueler. It doesn't really make a huge difference. It just saved us a couple. They should have waited until I used my ability, because then I wouldn't be able to activate the Elvish Refueler this turn. But we don't have a lot of responses to this flyer, so I'm a little concerned. Okay, well, that's a good answer. Now we can use a removal spell. I probably will do that on our turn, just because I don't want them being able to do something in response, and with 1 black mana, they don't have much that they can do in response. I think I'm going to activate the Keen Buccaneer. The thing about this attack now with the Keen Buccaneer is I do possibly have better attacks, like with a chance to blow them out with Run Over, but I really do think I want to use it on the flyer. I'm going to... I can't play the Mammoth, so I'm going to go ahead and activate this. We have to activate it on our turn anyway. We can just see a couple more cards. Refueler. Okay, I do think we're going to play the Refueler this turn. I still would like to play my Mammoth, but I think at this point it's possibly getting too late. Am I going to want to play my other Buccaneer if I draw a Forest? We just have so much to do with our mana now. A 5/5 is very well statted on this board, though. I think I'm going to discard the Omnivore. And then Ranger's Refueler Run Over will use my mana pretty well this turn. Do I want to attack? I don't think so. I can just keep making my creatures big. And as long as I kill their flyer, I'm going to go ahead and do it now, just so that I don't have to worry about them possibly doing something in response. Because if they kill this creature, then this one doesn't die. And so I think it's a little safer to just do it now. And then I don't really want to lose. My creatures get infinitely bigger. So if I can get this to stay a board stall, like they're only doing 1 a turn in the air, then that's better for me in this position. Because we kind of have longevity. As long as we can find an answer to this 1/3 flyer at some point. But I think we'll start outpacing our opponent before they will kill us with their 1/3. Interesting. Do they have another Fang Guardian? I do think I want to block it. What could they possibly have? I can't just take 4. I don't think I want to give up the Keen Buccaneer. And so I think I'm going to crew the Ranger's Refueler. And I'm going to block with this instead. I would, like, ideally like to draw a card. I did crew like this because I don't want to block with the Refueler, definitely. And so by making this block, making this crew, if before blocks I did something, I would still have my Keen Buccaneer to block if I wanted to. Alright, we took a trade. They did get to 4 speed, but I don't think they have any payoffs for that currently. So We don't seem too bad off. Okay, we did finally draw our forest. I'm going to go ahead and play this mammoth this turn. Makes a 5/5, makes a 3/3. That's a great blocker. I don't want to lose my... I guess, do I care about losing the Keen Buccaneer? If they double block with the Wretched Doll and the Fang Druid, it still only trades with one of them. So I'm going to continue to hold off, and especially now that we have the Mammoth and Elvish Refueler, I feel like we have a lot of inevitability in this game. Every time I look at this reach symbol, I realize how loud they've made reach. It's so much louder. There's no hidden reach on Arena. Right, they're surveilling. I should have been paying a little bit more attention to how often our opponent's been graveyarding their things. Okay, so this time they put a Mutant Surveyor in their yard. That makes sense. They can draw a card with it. Alright, this time they are just attacking in the air. Ooze Patrol. Oh, this thing's gonna be really big. That may be a problem. Oh, I guess a 6/6 is not so huge. I'm gonna start by activating my Keen Buccaneer. We kind of want to just keep getting bigger so that we can, at some point, make attacks. And, I was going to discard my forest, but I kind of like that the Sky Serpent, I can activate it and block the Wickerfolk and it doesn't die, and it gets more lands out of my deck. And I don't think another Buccaneer is really helping us. There's a lot of board stalls that happen in these games, so I think instead I'm going to make it so that I can just go ahead and play the Serpent. And then we have no good attack still. This is what often happens in these games, is they end up in board stalls. I do think our deck is really strong in board stalls. And so we'll just keep hanging out, you know, find ways to deal with our opponent's threats. They did leave it on top. They're attacking with their 6/6. Interesting. Yeah, our best block is with the Serpent. If we do that, we don't have a blocker for the 1/3 flyer anymore. But I don't really want to give up any of our other creatures. And we're at 10, I really don't want to take 6. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and block it with the Serpent, with the plan to activate it. Okay, we're going to... I'm really glad we blocked it. We would have been dead otherwise. So this is going to put us to 2. Not ideal, but alive. I'm a little more concerned now that they have a 1/3 flyer and we're at 2. I wonder if there's more I could have done to stop this. I guess I just wasn't playing around all these Fang Guardians. We'll have to remember about that. I'm not used to seeing so many Fang Guardians in a deck. Hold Drifter. Okay, well this is a flying blocker. That's great news for us. It does also draw cards, so we'll just go ahead and play it. We've got tons of lands. So it'll draw some cards, hopefully something good. Oh, these are great cards. Alright, Flood the Engine and Bounce Off. So, I can make this a 6/7, which still gets blocked pretty decently by this Calaxian Hunger Tyrant. If I play Flood the Engine on the Tyrant, I tap it down, and if I attack with my 5/5, they have no good blocks through Bounce Off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Flood the Engine, the Tyrant. I'm going to crew the Mammoth with the Buccaneer. Interesting. I wonder what they're thinking about. They can surveil. They can draw a card. I guess they could have, like, Murder. But if they had Murder, we would have been dead last turn, because they could have just killed our creature. So... if I crew this and attack... yeah, I think I like this. I'm going to saddle our Mammoth and attack so we get another 3/3. It is a little awkward. Like, we're not going to want to bounce the Fang Druid Summoner, I don't think. Just in case they have more creatures to get for free in their deck. Okay, this is good. I'm happy to bounce the Wretched Doll, I think. And so we're pretty happy. This kills a creature and also gave us a 3/3. We have a flying blocker for next turn. Their 7/2 is a little put down, and they did just choose to Surveil instead of draw a card. So now our board state, I think, is looking a little bit better. Oh boy. Well, this is a very good card. I don't think we can beat it. They have a million creatures. It's a bomb for sure. And I don't think there's any board wipes. I'm trying to think if there's a single card in our deck that beats this. Because we can block, but even if we block them, it drains us. So we need to find a way off the top to... Okay, they're going to kill our flyer. Sure. We need to find a way off the top to kill Atchnak. We do get 2 looks because of Keen Buccaneer. Alright, well, a land's not going to be it. And another land is not going to be it. So I think we're dead. If they attack, we die. If the insects die, we die. So we are dead. Alright. We could have been less aggressive last turn. We did not need to flood the engine the 7/2. Like, we were perfectly fine. Maybe I should have... Actually, I think I should have been now that we're thinking about it. I could have been a lot safer. I could have not flood the engine there. And if I didn't flood the engine, if I waited a turn, my Keen Buccaneer would have been bigger, and then we would have had a way to deal with the Atchnak. We still, I think, lose to the insects anyway, because it makes more creatures than we have. And we got a 3/3 last turn, so we would have had less creatures. We would have lost anyway, but if the bomb was something that didn't make 7 creatures, then we would have been a little safer going into the next turn, I think. I'd have to rewatch it. One of the things I'm planning on doing at some point is taking the interesting games from these drafts and using them as like VOD reviews to look at the different things we possibly could have done better. All right, and here we are for game number 2. Again, the opponent's in gold, whatever we're going to do. This hand is great. Good 2-drops, great 3-drop, good, our cards work well together, synergy. I do like playing Sky Serpent Seeker, typically on 2. I really like activating it on 4, and it typically attacks pretty well. So I'm going to play the Serpent first. And then I think our plan is going to be to play the Refueler on... It's less mana efficient, but when we want to activate the Serpent, it'll also draw us a card. They do now have this Lagak, so playing this Keen Buccaneer doesn't really give us good blocks or anything either. The Keen Buccaneer is so much more mana efficient. I love being mana efficient. But I think I like drawing cards more than I like being mana efficient. I kind of want to get more creatures on the board, though. And we'll have a couple other ways to draw cards, and it's good to have Keen Buccaneer in play when we use our Ranger's Refueler, because this is a cheap way to exhaust and draw another card. So I am going to be more mana efficient, and then they have no flyers, so we'll just poke them for 1. We're definitely not blocking with this. We want to use its exhaust ability. So we have a decision to make next turn on whether we want to play Ranger's Refueler and Skystreak Engineer, or Ranger's Refueler and activating Keen Buccaneer, or just activate the Serpent. Well, we're not activating the Serpent. So I think, we're pretty barred from attacking until the Lagak dies, which does make the counter a little less exciting. But I also want to draw a card before any of my things have a possibility of dying. So I think I'm going to play Ranger's Refueler, and I'm just going to go ahead and activate my exhaust now to draw a card. All right. Our deck is more blue heavy. We have double green for any of our double green cards, so I'm going to discard the forest. We don't need any more lands on this. And now we have a solution for Lagak. So this is, may I welcome you to the Church of Howler's Heavy, is what we called it during testing. It's going to give us an opportunity to just like make free attacks. And then, you know, they're not going to have a lot of options. They might have options in terms of blocking, but Howler's Heavy is going to make our attacks much better and their blocks much worse. All right, so we do have our land for turn. Before I play my land, one of the things I do is I always play my land, especially I play a lot faster in Arena. So I'm going to sit and I'm going to think, we're going to play our land definitely, but no reason to tell our opponent that yet. If we attack for 3, what are their blocking options? They can block with the Scurryfoot and the Elephant, in which we can kill it. They can block with just the Lagak, in which we can kill it. I guess they can block with a lot of those creatures, but if we trade for 2 creatures, I think we're super happy. So before I tell them anything else about our hand, I think I'm just going to go ahead and attack. Am I ever playing something and crewing this? I think so, actually. Okay, I am going to play my island. I'm going to do that so I can play the Surveyor. I'm going to start my engines. I kind of want to play a creature anyway. And now we can also attack with our Ranger's Refueler. Do we want it to die to just the Lagak? I actually don't know if we want to attack with Ranger's Refueler. I should have thought a little bit more before we did this. I just really don't like what happens if they block Lagak on a Refueler. I guess that does clear their whole board. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to be the aggressor. I'm going to attack. I think their best blocks are to block Lagak on the Refueler and then... oh, they're going to take like a 1-for-1 trade and a 1-for-1 trade? This doesn't clear their board. I guess this is better. Which one do I want to save? The Buccaneer's a better card, but I like that keeping the Refueler lets us go up cards. I think I'm going to go ahead and save the Refueler. I don't like my attack here. I should have just thought a little bit more. Number 1 lesson in comp magic. Just play a little bit slower. I think especially I'm trying to put all my thoughts out loud. I'm not super used to thinking this in depth, I guess. Or not in depth, but like this out loud. Vocalizing all of the thoughts. Alright, so I think our plan for next turn is going to be to exhaust this, hopefully, draw a card, and play the Engineer. They did play a Beast Rider Vanguard. This is a pretty strong 2/2. It just gives you a lot of cards. I think I still like the original plan. I am going to play an island just in case. I don't remember exactly what's in our deck, but in case we draw a 2-drop that's green that we want to play instead. Like if we drew the Omnivore, maybe we want to play that here because we want to block. We don't, but just in case. Oh, this is a great example. I guess this one also has blue, but this is a great blocker for their board. Do I want to be the aggressor and attack? I think we're allowed to be. It does then die to Ride's End, but we're a couple turns. I guess next turn we could draw another card. I don't know if we need that much card advantage over our opponent. I don't think I'm in a rush. I think we're currently in a position where if Refueler lives, we have a lot of inevitability, and we can kill them in the air if they don't deal with our flyers. So it forces them to deal with our slightly worse creatures and let us keep our better creature. I'm going to play the 1/3. It blocks the 2/2s well and gives us the other opportunity to draw a card. It also is a pretty mana efficient turn for next turn. We have 6 lands, next turn we'll have 7, so we can both exhaust this and play our Mangler, which I really like. I love spending all my mana. It's like one of the first things I think about on a given turn. Look at my little guy, Tiny Bones, chilling over there in the corner. Taking his arm off. Lifelink indestructible. Okay. They can attack and gain 2 if they want to. This does give them a flyer, but not like a particularly good one. I am going to block with the 1/3 just in case they have a trick. I'm my instinct is they don't have a trick just because of the way they've been playing the game, but if they do, I would rather lose the engineer. So we did draw a banger of a magic card. Definitely having me consider. I do think I want to take the line we originally mentioned anyway, where we draw a card and then play Mangler. Mangler's still a great blocker. They don't have good blockers for our flyer, and if they deal with our flyers, then they also have to deal with the Mammoth, which is just going to be a card that's very difficult for them to beat. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw. I do think we're basically always playing. Okay, a reason to leave up green would be run over. Like if we drew run over and we possibly wanted to hold it up. I don't know if we want to do that here, but that would have been a reason to play my land first. Okay, we have a land. I'm going to attack with both flyers. I don't really care if they trade in the air with our 2/2 that eventually we'll get to draw a card. Oh, do they have the +1/+2 reach trick? No, it's Ride's End. Okay. That's fine, they can trade here. Now they use their removal on our flyer instead of our Mammoth. How are they going to deal with our Mammoth? I'm feeling pretty good. Like, they're in a place soon where they're probably going to have to start paying mana to look at their top cards. And we still have lots of strong cards. We have a removal spell if they have anything very good. Cycling a land, that's good for us. That means they probably don't have anything too crazy to play. I think typically, rather than cycling a land, I would activate Vanguard. Oh, I guess if they already had a 3-drop, then maybe that's not true. This puts counters on mounts or vehicles, which none of these are mounts or vehicles. Just trying to make sure that they can't make all of their things bigger than ours. Alright, I'm definitely playing Mammoth this turn. I'm thinking if I'm attacking, I definitely don't want to trade it for one of their creatures. Also, ideally I want to be in a world where I can saddle my Mammoth, which does require creatures. So I don't think we're in any sort of rush here. If we don't draw a card we want to play, then there's a chance we're going to flood the engine to 3/3 because they're not going to have good blocks for our Mammoth, and I'm going to want to saddle it to attack and make another 3/3. They are going to activate their Vanguard here because it's their only option, unless they don't recognize they can do that, which they do. And then it's just a matter of whether they get a spell they can play this turn or not, or if they get something bigger. Pothole Mole. Okay. This does give them better blocks for our things. Greenbelt Guardian in the yard. Great. That's a scary card. All right. Okay. So our turn. We drew our own Pothole Mole. So if we flood the engine, the daring mechanic, and crew the Mammoth, we get another 3/3, and they're forced to triple block if they want to kill our creature, which we do only kill 2 creatures, but it also means that we could attack with anything else. They can't block those, or they don't kill the Mammoth, and we get another 3/3, which is a pretty well-statted creature on their board. It is kind of greedy, but I don't really want to give them the chance to stabilize. So let's do the mole first. I do also want to try to start dealing points of damage so that we can eventually draw a card with our card from the yard. I know we have this land. Let's go ahead and tap down the mechanic. And then we will saddle. Oh, maybe we don't want to lose Refueler. Maybe instead we'll attack with our 3/3. Yeah, okay. I think we'll do this instead. This is better if we draw a, because we're low on cards, it's better if we draw a exhaust creature. And so their options are either kill the mammoth or block the 3/3 profitably, which I think they need to kill the mammoth. This card is just, they're not going to be able to block it profitably forever. Yep, so go to damage. I want to kill the Vanguard and the one that's a little bigger. I'm killing the Vanguard if it's not clear because it's the only thing on their board that's helping them see more cards. And we're kind of, our goal now is to use the board presence we have established and kind of try to abuse that. Kill them before they can find an answer to it. Which is a pretty good card. It's definitely better on turn 2 than it is now. But it searches lands, which is pretty cool. Thankfully, this Flood the Engine does take away abilities, so they can't put counters on it, which is good for us. And we're looking at a place where we have pretty good attacks. Like, we can use our 2/3 to crew our 3/3, and then all of our things need to be, at the very least, double blocked, and they'd be taking a lot of damage. Keen Buccaneer. All right, this is great. We're going to play it. We're going to go ahead and exhaust right away. It draws a card. I'm going to see more cards before we make decisions. All right, we got land and land. Very exciting. I want to make a pretty aggressive attack. I think we're okay attacking with the Pothole Mole. It is the one thing that they can like just evenly block. But if they take this even block, they can't kill the Refueler, which is dealing more damage. So I'm going to just take the aggressor. I'm going to crew the one creature that can't attack. And as the System Magic people would say, alpha. I need to attack with everything. I did not understand that for the first part, but I know the lingo now. See, we've really trapped them. Now they're sitting there thinking about their blocks. They're all difficult. And I think we're in a pretty good position. Interesting. Given that they're taking a block, like a double block, I'm surprised they didn't block the Refueler for a boatload of reasons. I don't think there's a reason for us to wait on this. Like, maybe there's a card we want to play. Ah, see, we got a removal spell. Let's pass. And now they're probably dead. We have a removal spell for something. We can attack for basically a zillion. That's how math works. And we have taken our first win of the series. Leonin Surveyor. All right. And I don't even think we need to play our removal spell. I guess we'll really demoralize them. I'm going to kill the Scurryfoot. They don't have max speed, but just a good tendency. I don't want to put this in the art in case they had max speed and they could draw a card. It would give them another game option. We want to lower the amount of options our opponents have. It's like a general good heuristic to have. And they did the Kaploo. All right. We're on the up and up. All right. We are back for game number 4. Our opponent's going first. We don't have a third land, but we are on the draw and we have a way to cycle. And so I think I'm just going to keep this hand. Howler's Heavy is really showing its stuff, being a 2-drop that draws a card. We've killed a couple creatures with it. Well, I don't think we're giving Van Wixt lowering its power, but that's okay. We did draw another 3-drop. Pretty good one. It's going to block well. It's going to make it difficult for them to increase their speed, which I think is good for us. I'm so allergic to my cat. Fun fact. Did they just flood the engine our Midnight Mangler? Interesting game action. All right, we're going to Pothole Mole, get a land. I'm unsure what was so threatening about our Midnight Mangler that they, it doesn't lose all abilities. I don't know why it becomes a creature because it loses abilities. Is that supposed to happen? Ah. Well, maybe it's just because they plan on flooding all of our creatures. I see the game actions. They're happening. All right. I think I'm going to play the Serpent this turn. We could hard cast Howler's Heavy, but it really doesn't do anything versus Vinwixt. I like that Runover will kill the Vinwixt. In fact, I kind of want to just kill it now, but I guess there's no reason to. We'll just wait. But I think at some point we're going to want this pesky 04 out of the way. We also don't want them gaining speed and being able to draw lots of cards, and this will counter our spell. So rather than letting them counter it, let's just kill the Vinwixt now. It would require them to sacrifice it, but next turn we can attack with our Serpent, or like we can leave it up to block. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to play my land and then just pass. Just passing is, or do I want to do that? If we do this, then we can't also cycle Howler's Heavy. I think instead, I'm going to do something a little bit more mana efficient. I'm going to play the Keen Buccaneer. Then if we don't cycle Howler's Heavy for value, we can just activate the Keen Buccaneer. We've used all of our mana, and we've held up our Howler's Heavy, which is my favorite way to hold things up, is when we are possibly not going to cast them. Luna has made my nose so itchy, but it's like the tip of my nose. If you ever see my nose, the tip of my nose gets red, it's from allergies. Meow. Meow. All right, affinity for artifacts, flying. All right, it's got what, 4 toughness? Well, the good news is if our Serpent blocks the memory or the diversion, then we could still kill it. So I think we're just gonna activate our Keen Buccaneer. Hello, Luna. Welcome back. I was just saying I'm allergic to you. I don't think we want another land. And we might want the Hull Drifter, so I'm going to discard the land. It'll help us maybe not flood as much. All right, I love Howler's Heavy. See, now we've got 2. Now we can make this attack. If they block, we can Howler's Heavy to save it, and then we still have another one. This card's just so good. It's such a versatile card. It could also be a 3/4. Like, this card just, it fills so many roles in a game. I love that about a card. Okay, we can play Hull Drifter, or we can activate our Serpent. I think I just want to play the Hull Drifter. Start drawing cards, then we can, you know, possibly hit a land drop. All right. No more land drops, but Pit Automaton is really good in this hand. It pays for cycling, it pays for all of our exhaust abilities. All right, they have a 3/4. I guess I did not think about them animating this 6/5 and attacking with it, but I don't think we care if they do that. All right, still no lands. I think, what do I want to do here? I think I'm going to play Scurryfoot and pass. I like this because we can possibly cycle both Howler's Heavies, and then if we don't end up cycling the Howler's Heavies, we can activate our Serpent, and we want more lands. So I'm pretty happy to activate Serpent at this point. And so I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Scurryfoot and then pass it on to our opponent. Let them make game actions. Oh, that's a very good card. They can start drawing additional cards. There's not much we can do about it. I don't remember. What do we take over the Web Strike Elite? That would have been an answer to this card. I don't remember. Oh, the Refueler. The one that draws cards. That card's really good, so I don't think we're terribly upset about that. All right. Oh, I was hoping they were going to make some attacks. They've teased me. My turn. Okay, so we'll just activate this then. This is not a bad situation. It means we can start getting lands. I also think maybe we're going to cycle our Howler's Heavies a tad more aggressively. Crew 2. I drew a land. Let's go ahead and play it. The problem now is, like, because they have Aether Siphon, they're going to have a lot more inevitability than we do. And I don't really want to just lose to Aether Siphon. I'm thinking about crewing the Hole Drifter and attacking with that. Because if they crew this and then I have to double cycle Howler's Heavy, maybe that's not terrible. But it does just have a good block on it. Oh, that doesn't kill it anyway. Okay, I've convinced myself. I'm going to attack with the Hole Drifter. Ride's End. Okay. Well, if there's anything they're going to cast Ride's End on, I don't think we care about it being that. Do we want to attack with both our flyers? I don't think so. Because we are... Oh, I did not think about this being a possible option. Hopefully they just think about how it's not a... that we must have something. We must have something to blow them out, clearly. I don't know why. I always forget this doesn't reduce toughness. Alright, so we're going to do it to save our creature, I guess. Not the best game action, but... Oops. Everyone makes mistakes. Just should play a little slower. I think you can attribute, like, probably 40% minimum of your mistakes in Magic to just playing too fast. Alright, well... We don't know way to kill it, so we're just gonna deal some damage. Our creature's gonna live. Man, we really don't know. This can become a 3/5. That doesn't help us here. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna play Pit Automaton, and then when we go to exhaust this, we're going to double its exhaust. Then there'll be a big flyer, and then it can do things. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna leave up our Howler's Heavy still, because we have this Seeker that can make some blocks if it... Oh, what a good draw. Well, maybe we can just survive forever, and our opponent can deck. The thing is, if, like, we never let them get speed, then they have no way to deck us, right? Oh, we have a lot less cards than them, wow. I guess we've milled some stuff and done some things. They're thinking about making attacks. Alright, going to our turn. Okay. So, the good news here is if we take this fun game action of making this really big, we can attack with it. Let's see, we have 9 mana. Yeah, so we'll still have 2. So, let's just go ahead and attack and make them deal with it. Oh, this is good for us. They only have 1 mana up, right? So they can't... I don't think there's anything they can do here. So we'll go ahead and copy our next exhaust ability. Activate it. It'll make our flyer a 5/7, and this has given us a path to winning the game. Which is, I think, the purpose of this attack was to find ways to get over their board so we can possibly make some progress. Alright. I think I'm just going to play this Omnivore. If they animate the 6/5, there's a chance I want to block it. And aside from them attacking with only diversion unit, attacking with, or like leaving up the Howler's Heavy to protect the Serpent doesn't do very much. They're gaining a life. I would be more inclined to leave up like more things that block if their speed was any higher, because them milling us out with Aether Siphon would be a real concern. Oh, well, that's a problem. We do have another Howler's Heavy, so maybe we can attack with our Skystreak Engineer again, and then... The nice thing about this board state is our Seeker's kind of holding them back from attacking, which is nice. Oh, wow, that's a phenomenal draw. All right, well, we definitely want all our mana now, and we definitely want to play this card. So we can activate this again. 9, 10. They do have a number of flyers, so I don't know if that's exactly what we want to be doing with our mana. Like, maybe we want to be activating this again. We have so many decisions to make. Okay, I don't think we need to play this before we attack, because Howler's Heavy saves our Skystrike Engineer no matter what happens. So, we can go ahead and attack. We have 10 mana. Just going to damage, okay? We're definitely casting this. If we cast this and we activate this again, it becomes a 3/3. Then unless they draw and play an artifact, we can block this, which I kind of like. And it gives us more lands to continue to do ridiculous things with our board in the future. So I think I'm going to activate this. I'm not 100% sure this is correct. This is a turn where, like, at the PT, I would have played my other turns a little faster so that I could take a little bit more time on this turn. But unfortunately, the arena timer... So, I do understand that you can use these timeouts for your timer, but it makes me so nervous when the rope starts ticking down that it's going to just, like, end my turn while I'm thinking. Oh, that's annoying. Well, I guess we might as well crew this. That I end up just making decisions faster because as soon as the rope starts ticking, it makes me nervous. Okay, so they do have attacks now. I don't know if they want to make them. Also, I understand killing the flyer here, but at the same time... Oh, that's aggressive. Okay. Okay. If we block this, we get no value. If we block this, then they're gonna activate and our creature will survive. So I think that sounds like a plan to me. I'm also pretty happy at this point to have a creature that is not Howler's Heavy in our hand. We're going to be able to start going pretty wide too, because we can copy this. All right. They're gaining speed. All right. More lands. Okay, so let's think. We can keep making our flyer bigger. They can't attack as long as we have this flyer, but I think we're still the aggressor. We only have the one flyer to block with is the only thing that makes me not think that. I think maybe we can actually start making some aggressive attacks on the ground. Like our Omnivore, we're pretty happy to trade off. This is going to make 3/3/3s and is going to be a 3/3 itself. Okay, I have decided. Instead of, let's see, we have 12 mana. So this is going to be 6. This is fine. What I'm trying to think about is that I'm not getting a refueler value by doing this. Oh, you know what? I don't think I want to do this. I don't want to do this because I don't want to lose a Scurryfoot because it's like basically every single turn can make 2/3/3s, which, because I can copy it and activate it again. And I don't want to lose that ability. Like, that sounds like a good way to win the game. And so I'm going to go to my combat. On my turn, this is 6 mana. I have 12. I'm going to have 13. So I think I'll probably also activate the Engineer on my turn, since I have the mana to. Make it bigger, you know, just really be comfortable with the idea of it being able to, I guess this 3/2 is kind of, oh no, they have the 6/5 to block. So we'll make no attacks. We'll play a land. We'll activate this because it's free. And then end our turn. That way we get value from the Elvish Refueler. It's just like, we're not going to be able to activate this a second time on their turn anyway. And so it's just kind of free. 13, so they need to find a way to kill us, so they're gonna, I guess they're really, we still have less cards than they do. At some point they can just decide to stop drawing cards, but we're gonna start making a pretty big board. Oh, interesting. They've decided to crew their 6/5? I don't want to block with the Engineer. My guess is they have some sort of trick. I don't remember what the tricks are in white-blue. I don't think there's any blue tricks. I'm going to copy my next exhaust ability, activate my Scurryfoot, make a bunch of 3/3s, and then I'm going to block with the elephants, and then I really don't remember what removal spells there are. I think I'm also going to block with the Omnivore. They don't get to kill extra things unless they play a spell, and I'm fairly certain that any combat trick that they could have, or removal spell, would mean that they still trade off. And getting rid of the 6/5 does mean that our 3/3s are going to be able to block more in the future, and we're going to be able to make 2 a turn, so it's beneficial to get rid of the 6/5. It's like one of the only really profitable blockers on the ground if they want to try to be attacking us in the air. Right, we get a free activation on our Elvish Refueler here with all our lands. Alright, I do not want to play this. We're going to activate a lot of exhaust abilities, and I'm a little worried about decking before we kill them. And so let's make a bunch of 3/3s, shall we? They do have a fair amount of good blockers, is definitely part of concern. There's a board wipe in the set. Like, maybe I want to be attacking with my flyer. Right. I do think I'm the aggressor, and I think I can take some amount of damage in the air. So I'm going to attack with this before I make my decision. That way, if activating this is the move, I can do it. I can make it up to an 11/13 this turn by copying its exhaust. Alright, no blocks. I think that's fine. Let them take 7. I'm trying to see if the clock changes at all if I put them to 6. I don't think so. So I have to do this on my turn this time, because if I don't, then I can't activate it. And we'll play our land. Why not? I don't think we want to activate Keen Buccaneer anyway. We don't want to deck. We have created, like, real threats at this point, though, which is good. Oh, a random 1/1 to block with? That's so annoying. Do we still have runovers? We do. We still have a runover, and we still have a Flood the Engine. So alright, just gonna let us take our turn. I have no way to spend my mana. Oh, this is a cool card. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures that can attack. 7 technically if we crew this. So I think we're just gonna make some more 3/3s. Oh, maybe we want to make more Thopters. I guess I still can. No, I would want to do that on their turn. Or I guess. No, I can't take it back. Unfortunate. Okay, let's do this. Player camera launcher. And pass. I guess we should have attacked with our engineer first. I'm going too fast. The answer probably is they just chump block it, but we have blockers now for their things in the air. We have 8 cards, they have 8 cards. Okay, they're attacking out. This probably means board wipe. Let's activate this. What are our flying options? The Thopter, the Engineer, and the Holdrifter. The board wipe in this set does also kill vehicles, so no reason to not animate the Holdrifter here. These are very complicated blocks. All right, this lets 1 flyer through, which, you know, unfortunate. I don't want to let the refueler die if they don't have a board wipe, so I'm not going to block with the refueler. This leaves everything blocked except for the flyer, which I just actually don't have enough flyers to block. So I think that's okay. The board is probably getting wiped anyway, and if it's not, then this is just like a send it. You know, I'm nervous I can't win the game, so I have to attack anyway. And so I think we might as well, they have 5, yep, there it is. We anticipated it. Okay, so they have ways to draw cards. Oh. Right, we have 7 cards. If we play this, we can just make it really big. I'm just nervous about drawing cards. But I also kind of want my 3/3 creature. If I activate this now, I think our goal is just going to be to kill them. I'm going to do this. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to make it a creature. I think our goal is going to be to make creatures and then like activate Sita and just make it really big. Do I want to kill that thing now? 10, 11, 12, 13. So theoretically they have 4 lands left in their deck. I'm just gonna pass. There's a chance maybe we can get rid of a big threat or something if we make this big and then run over. Okay. I'd prefer if they activate that now. Draw a card. We have 8, 11, 14. And so we can make... That's annoying. We have 4, 8, 11, 14, 15. We have 2 lands left. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's... Oh, I guess if we want to run over this. Okay, yeah. We're gonna do this so they can't hit max speed this turn. Because if they attack with it, we're gonna have to activate our Seed of Arma to block it, and I just don't want to do that. And going into this turn, if I attack with Seed, they have to block it because it's gonna be too big. I guess there was no reason to not play my land. I guess if we draw a Keen Buccaneer, I don't know if we have any more in our deck. I in fact think we know one of them is on the bottom because of one of the serpents. So I have not been thinking in depth what the cards on the bottom of our library are, but they're... Oh, we know the Keen Buccaneer. We know the cards on the bottom are not lands, and so the lands that we still have in our deck are likely to be on the top. So this card's probably a land. All right, let's activate this and make it huge, shall we? We have 14, so it's gonna be for 11. Yes, please make your 3/5. All right, and then, you know, they need to draw an answer or a blocker or something. That's a land. Another card. All right, they're also low on cards. That was a good game. Very long. Yeah, it's something about the, like, draw board wipe alpha that I just... It was, like, felt kind of obvious that they had it. And if they didn't have it, right, then you want to block anyway because you're likely to win the game. Like, it's their last-ditch effort. And so it never hurts to block in situations like that. There's not, like, a trumpet blast or something in white-blue in this set. All right. Here we are for game number 5. Well, we found a hand I must mulligan. I think our opponent has gone first every single game. But this has blue cards and no blue lands. We can't play anything till turn 6 and only if we draw 3 lands. So let's ship it back and find a better one. This one's much better. I do think I'm going to put the Mammoth back. As good of a card as it is, we do want all of our lands and the rest of our cards we can play. So this hand is great. A+ hand. Scrap Compactor, I think, means I want to play the Refueler on 2. Okay, we have a lot of options here, actually. If we play one of our, like, one of our creatures, there's a chance they want to use their turn to Scrap Compactor. Where if we Refueler, we don't really give them that choice, but they can compact something else maybe later. Next turn, we kind of want to play Keen, but I think I'm just going to play the Refueler this turn. We have so many exhaust abilities that I think I just want to get it out so that we can make our decisions later and still be able to draw the cards. Also, if they don't have a play this turn, it's nice because they... A 5/4. Well, that sure is a play, huh? Okay, so I think we want to play... Okay, we don't play Keen Buccaneer. The reason we're doing this is they're likely going to compact it. And if they don't, we get to draw a card and draw a card. And then we've got good 2-mana spells to play next turn. Use our mana efficiently. They do have a 5/4 that is going to be punching us. Which, not ideal. But, you know, is what it is. Right, now they have a Death Touch creature. Like, I kind of wanted to play the Serpent to try to... Oh, are they going to compact it? That'll be good for us. Okay, great. We wanted to play the Serpent so that we could block the Imperial Soar, which we couldn't do before with the Scrap Compactor out, because they would just kill it. They can get their 5/4 back. All right, land in the bin, so they don't need any more lands. That's really annoying. All right, well, it's what it is. Can't do anything about it. Yeah, we're gonna go to 10. Our deck does require stabilization. That was one of the things we mentioned. Howler's Heavy. We didn't draw a land. So we can... no, we can't. I think we may be cooked. We can play Refueler or Camera Launcher. I think Camera Launcher is our best bet because this doesn't have trample, so like it'll at least make things that can chump block next turn. I think we are likely toast. Unless we can find an answer to this 5/4. They have so much control over the top of their deck too. Grim Baubles surveils 2, then Broodheart Engine surveils. And they put 1 in the yard, so they're probably leaving the other one on top then. I imagine. Yep. Land. Alright, we're going to 5. Nothing to see here. If we want to... Oh, I guess... Ooh, this engine rat's going to annihilate us. Oh, Ketrodon. Yippee. Oh, it's a dinosaur. I see. Well, I think we're dead. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, the thing about our deck is it does need to stabilize, and when we can't deal with like all of the big creatures, we're likely just gonna die. That's alright, we'll get him next time. Alright, welcome to game number 6. Yet again, our opponent is going first. Someone will have to tell us after if we ever went first. Our hand's great. Curves out well. Plays good cards. We have all our lands. Bounce off is a stabilization tool, so hopefully we don't die as quickly as we did last time. A red land definitely leads to possibly dying faster. Seed of Arma is thankfully like a pretty well-statted creature, and so alright. This is not so bad. We can play our Seed of Arma, and then it kind of like makes it so they can't attack. Alright, Sky Streak Engineer. They have a 1/3. I do think I'm going to take the mana efficient play, which is playing Arcane Buccaneer. I thought about playing Sky Streak Engineer instead because it gives us blockers and like prevents their speed, but I don't think blue-red cares about speed all that much. And so I'm going to continue on my track of mana efficient spells. Alright, our opponent has a Roadside Blowout and returned Arcane Buccaneer to our hand. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. So now we have the decision on whether we want to play 2/2 drops or Keen Buccaneer and like hold up bounce off. I like Keen Buccaneer and Exhaust next turn, and I like that Sky Streak Engineer. Oh, it's possibly not gonna want to block because they can just exhaust. If they exhaust, we can bounce off. think I want to go with the strategy of developing our board. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, we can get a free attack in. They have a 2/2. We're going to have plenty of blockers on their turn. And so we might as well take this attack, I think. The only removal spell in 1 red is Road Rage, which would kill this anyway. And then we'll play our 3/3 to keep the Gilded Goda down. Ugh. The games in this format are very long. I wonder if that is a reason at these lower ranks to draft aggro decks. So that it goes a little faster. We would have had 2 Kaladins in this draft. Probably none of the good red-white cards, but 2 Kaladins. Oh, there was the one Broadcast Rambler that wheeled really late. Alright, yeah, I don't want my Skystreak Engineer to die just because they can pump, so I'm going to let them do this. And then the nice part about this is Bounce Off is a pretty efficient way of dealing with the Skystreak Engineer. Alright, let's start thinking. So, I'm going to play a land. There's a chance I shouldn't have played that land because I might be playing my Pothole Mole, but this currently would get 2 counters, and the base power and toughness of each creature would be equal to... So right now, if we did this, it would be a base... All my creatures would be base power 4/4. So I think we want to try to go wide, because if we do that, then we can attempt to kill our opponent. I do think I want to... It's interesting. I think because that's our plan, we don't really care about taking 3 from this. We kind of want to go wide and then bounce off the turn that we're going to try to kill them. So I think I'm going to play Keen Buccaneer because I can't play both of my creatures, and this will let me draw and hopefully continue finding some gas. This is crew 2. So I think I don't really want to leave this like just a free attack. So I'm just going to attack with the Seed of Arma again. I'm doing this specifically because 16 is a better number 4. Although, actually, that might have been a reason to attack with the Midnight Manglers, because my 5/5s would be... Oh, wait, actually... Oh, maybe that was really bad. Maybe if they attacked with this, and I could bounce a creature... I'm dying. Sorry, I have hiccups. Then I could just be attacking for lethal. Although it's unlikely that they don't have anything. So... I do think it was better to attack with the Midnight Mangler, just because of the way Seed of Arma works. Well, they are casting Flood the Engine, so now we have a choice. We can return our Seed of Arma, which is a good way to try to win the game. Or we can, I guess we can do that kind of whenever, so there's no reason to do it now. But now there's a chance, instead of bouncing off this 3/5, that we're bouncing off the Seed of Arma. Alright, let's draw Howler's Heavy. We love a good Howler's Heavy. Alright. So we're definitely playing this Pothole Mole this turn, and so I'm going to do it before I play my land. Well, we needed to tap a little better than this. I did not consider that when making my game actions, but I am going to, I think, crew this and attack. We do have a blocker for this now because our creature is Vigilance. And so this is a tad more aggressive, which I like. And we're also a little safer because we have Howler's Heavy to take less damage. Our opponent is taking all their time to think. They're just passing. Okay, I think if they're just passing, I want to bounce off now. Just get rid of their flyer. I don't think we're going to need Seat of Armor to win this game. And now we get an attack. Flood the engine. 3, 5, 8, 9. That's if we could tap a creature for this. So we don't have lethal if we tap that down. I think I want to play Howler's Heavy to crew the Midnight Mangler. I could also just make our flyer bigger. Oh, I think I like that more. We should attack with this instead of the Pothole Mole because it's bigger. Opponent's taking all their time to think. I don't know what they have, but they get a broadside barrage. And it just doesn't feel like they have removal, just the way they're playing. I feel like if they had removal, they wouldn't have been so scared to attack last turn. Taking their sweet time. That's better than me. I'm thinking too fast. I should learn one from my opponent. One of the things I struggle with actually currently at the Pro Tour is like if my opponent plays very fast, I think I almost instinctually feel the need to keep up with their pace of play. And as a result of trying to keep up with their pace of play, they did have a removal spell, then I play a lot faster and then I don't play very well, which I'm sure is part of the strategy. But they can make it treasure next turn if they want to. I say, I wonder if they have another removal spell. Alright, they're at 4. The point of damage we missed earlier coming in clutch again. This is where I say, you know, Magic really comes in thin margins. I thought it didn't matter if I did that last turn, but the difference between 4 and 3 here is pretty big. I don't know what our opponent can do to stabilize from the spot, but a lot of the time, you know, they can. You know, if they're playing white, they could possibly have a board wipe. They can bounce our creature. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen that change the pace of the games. Would we have lethal next turn? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, we'd have to play this and pump it. So we wouldn't be able to tap anything down. Because we can't crew this off a 1-3. We can cast Howler's Heavy. I'm just being too cute right now. I wonder if I want to cycle Howler's Heavy or if my plan is going to be to use it. I think there's a chance we just cast it. Keen Buccaneer. Alright, we have 7 lands. Keen Buccaneer Howler's Heavy is 7 mana. But I think we have a strategy of like playing this and possibly getting them in the air. Like we can tap down their 1 flyer. This is exactly the 1 damage mattering again, right? So let's go ahead and play this. And then there's no reason for us to rush the exhaust, so we'll just wait. Maybe we want to cycle our Howlers Heavy, I don't know. I feel like these are habits I've just like gotten into as a player, right? Like there's no reason a lot of the time to wait, but it's always good to because maybe you have something else to do. And then when you do have something else to do, you feel so smart, you know? Just good habits. Tiny Bones hanging out over there. This has been a very long draft. It's gonna be a long way to Mythic. Oh. See, we waited. We saved some mana. There actually is like a fairly decent chance we want a Howlers Heavy now. So I think we're going to want to cycle it just to find some cards to try to close the game out. Is it better for us to just play it as a 3/4? Aether Siphon. Well, now we need to kill our opponent quickly. We do have creatures, and so I don't think... I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait. Mammoth. That's a good card. They can activate this and make it a 3/4. So attacking with Midnight Mangler is not particularly good. I think we just Mammoth. Big boy. Make some 3/3s. Man, I really wish my opponent was at 3. How many times have I said that now? That's okay. You live and you learn. Next time I will put my opponent to 3. They have a million cards in deck. We have less cards than them. We need to find a way to close out this game kind of ASAP. And it feels as if they've drawn, you know, a fair amount of lands, so... I guess they have also drawn these 2 Flood the Engines. Well, the Mammoth I think is pretty good here. We can saddle it to get another 3/3, and then any of our blocks are fairly good because of Howler's Heavy. It's one of the reasons I considered keeping it was just because it's pretty good when they try to block our things. It lets us take a little bit more aggressive of an attack. Gunner. That's a great card. Okay. Hit Automaton. Well, I think I want to start by attacking with Mammoth. Are we going to flood the engine the gunner? I think we are. So I'm going to go ahead and flood the engine the gunner first. Well, I mean, I guess if they block with it, that's better. So let's saddle our Mammoth. Let's attack with it, making an elephant. Because if they block with this and something else, oh, there's blocking with everything. Okay, well this is good. We don't need to cycle our Howlers Heavy. There's just no reason to. We'll trade with the gunner, or with the 2 creatures, and then we'll flood the engine the gunner, and then they're down to 1 creature. This is good. I like this. This is good for us. Oh, they can pump this. They do have to decide that now, though. Okay. All right. Now we can flood the engine this. And now I do think we can just play our Howlers Heavy as a 3/4. Now I think our goal is just to put creatures on the board and kill them. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it as a creature. Paid Automaton's not really helping us, and this is a little bit more mana efficient. Like, maybe we draw something else that we want to play with our Keen Buccaneer, have the mana later. But if we play our creature, we have 5 attacking creatures next turn. And they need to be able to block 4 of them, or handle 4 of them in some manner, which I think is pretty good for us. Do. Something I can feel. I have a Apata stuck in my head. Well, you know, if they were gonna get things, those were gonna be good ones. I don't think it's enough. They would need to also have a removal spell with their 1 remaining land, which that's not what it is. So I believe they are dead on board. We will cast our Keen Buccaneer. And through our missing points of damage, we will attack for lethal damage. They're going to sit and think for a second, probably draw a card, and then hopefully at some point you move to the next one. There we go. All right, good game, C85, D6, D0D. All right, we're in bronze 1. Maybe by the end of the draft we can be in silver. My first birthday present to myself, silver 5. Yippee. I never play enough arena to stay anywhere above bronze, and so it always results in me starting at the absolute bottom of bronze, which is fine, you know, no complaints, but I wonder, after you make it to Mythic, the next time you're in, like, gold, right, you don't go all the way down to bronze. So if you do bronze to Mythic again, do you just cheat and start from gold, or do you just, like, make a new account? Someone will have to tell me how this works. All right. We have no green mana, but our card is pretty good, and all our cards are blue. We also have a way to draw discard. So, and most of our deck is blue. We're going first, finally. I think I'm going to keep this. It's got a removal spell, some good cards. We'll just play mono blue. Who needs green cards? I couldn't possibly need cards from the best color in the set. Well, we just drew our forest, so now we can draw some green cards. Now, because I said that, we're going to draw the mammoth. The 1 card I can't cast in my deck. Oh no, that's a good one. I do think we're still going to continue to be mana efficient, though. I'm just going to play my Keen Buccaneer this turn. We don't have anything to do with the rest of our mana next turn. Oh no, we can. We can Serpent and activate Buccaneer. So, oh, is it getting countered? It is. Spectral Interference. Speed. All right, well, we found something else to do with our additional 2 mana. If they're going to counter one of them, I'd rather it be this one, so I'm going to cast this one first. Maybe it'll trick them, you know? Maybe they see this and like, oh, I must counter this one. I guess there's no reason for us to not attack for 3. Is there a flash? Like, there's no entity tracker or... Like, is there a flash creature? I don't think so. I think I can just deal some points of damage here. No reason not to. These are the points of damage in Limited that I feel like people miss sometimes. And they end up being very... If you didn't see how important that 1 damage possibly could have been last game, it was very relevant, it seemed. I've never seen these sleeves. What interesting sleeves. A brooding mage. I've been watching these videos on TikTok of this girl and her chickens. She like collects eggs, and she has like a pay what you can egg stand or something in somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And that was when I learned what a brooding hen was. She had like a chicken, and it was gonna have it laid eggs, but then its eggs died, and so they got the mom chicken, like chickies, little babies, instead. All right, I'm gonna do this now so they can't kill the scrap compactor. This is my strategy. We're gonna attack for 5 or for 3. Now they have to spend 6 mana if they want to kill it. Flooding our engines. One more land. Okay, nice. I was going to say one land would be nice here because now I can play Refueler and then I can exhaust it to draw a card. And then I think we are going to do that additional, like, cheat in a couple points of damage. We're going to make this a creature, use it to crew. Oops. And attack. All right. Well, see, look, now our opponent's at 11. She's been killing them with Midnight Manglers. This looks like it may be a cast angle for Howler's Heavy. I think we've cast more Howler's Heavies this match than I've ever cast in my life. All right, well, here we are. Casting a Howler's Heavy. Look at our 3/3 going again. This Midnight Mangler has done so much damage in this game. I think we're in a pretty good spot. If they have one more land, they can kill our Howler's Heavy, which is currently our only way to crew a Midnight Mangler. But we have 2 removal spells, which is nice. And if they do that, it also means they're not developing their board. All right. So let's go ahead and kill the Venom Sacligak. I'm specifically targeting the Howler's Heavy because they can crack the Scrap Compactor and kill the Midnight Mangler in response. I don't want them to do that. All right. Last, first, same as the first or something like that. Player, creature, crew, and we're the aggro. Our blue-green aggro deck. Now, look at that. Now they needed to kill our Midnight Mangler. Okay, a Memory Guardian. Well, it appears our opponent is dead. Does this now mean this mage is no longer brooding, or are we going to get them baby chickens? Like they did for the chicken on TikTok. They're kind of cute. All right. This hand has forests, a runover, a pit automaton, but no island. However, it does have this automaton, and the automaton does tap for our exhaust abilities. And so if we draw an island, it's fairly good. But we are on the play, so I do think we're going to mulligan. Okay. Well, this one's much worse than the last one, so let's mulligan this one too. Okay. Well, I think we're bottoming Island Hole Drifter. Hole Drifter is like a way to go up on cards, but we also need the lands for it, and I don't want to bottom any of the other cards. So Hole Drifter is just going to have to be the sacrifice, and then we're just going to have to hope that Elvish Refueler is good enough. Maybe we should keep the first hand. The best of one hand smoother has failed me. Winter. All right. We will play our Elvish Refueler. This is not a good hand against a black-blue deck. Not ideal for us. Okay, well, this at least lets us use our mana well. So we'll play Mangler and we'll play the Omnivore. And now we have several ways to stop their attacks. Okay. Killing our Omnivore. I mean, I'm more than happy with this trade. Maybe they have maximum overdrive? Yeah. I just don't think we're allowed to play around it. Ward, pay 2 life. Okay, well, we can make our we can play our Elvish Refueler and make it bigger. This one, there's definitely no reason to wait, because if they have something that gives it like -3/-3, I don't know if there's something like that in the format, but like anything that deals 3 damage, and we're not going to have anything else to do with our mana, and so we might as well. Well, I kind of want to play the Refueler again, but I think we need to play Flood the Engine, because I don't think we're going to be able to do it at any other point, and we're just dying a little too fast. Oh, we do have enough mana to, in addition, play our Refueler, which is nice. We don't get to activate it. Pactol Terror. This is likely to kill us. Okay. Do we want to play a 3/4 or use it as a trick? I think we want to play a 3/4, which I also think means we can just activate Refueler because they know we have it. We do have blockers, but we may just die to pings. Our opponent has another Pactol Terror. Oh boy. It appears we may be dead. Pothole Mole. Okay. It is a creature. Play our land in case they have a way to discard it. Activate our free Elvish Refueler. Now, is it that much better for us if they double block? Like, we're never going to get good attacks. If we kill one of the Pactol Terrors now, I don't think so. I don't know. It's such a bad situation. Ideally, we would just, like, I guess we'll keep it just in case we get something else we can, like, exhaust several times. But I would not say I feel hopeful. I guess any removal spell also... Oh. I was going to say a removal spell is pretty good for us because we can then attack and kill one of the things that block, but that does not help us with this Gear Seeker Serpent in play, for it can become unblockable and kill us. And now we have completely invalidated all of our attacks. I see. Flood the engine. Well, that does mean they didn't become unblockable. Oh, this I probably should have waited on. The reason I didn't was that I thought I was going to be able to do it again, but that is not an option. Okay, let's think now. So we can play this. I guess the thinking is for next turn because we can't activate it. But green, green, blue, we have 5, 6, 7 lands. So we can give this 4+1+ encounters. And then, right, 4, 6. And then they all have base power toughness 6. But they have a zillion life exactly. And they can attack for 5 unblockable. And we cannot block in the air. So... And if we attack and they don't block, we still die. What is the strategy here? We're dead. Is there something we can do to like trick our opponent into letting us stay alive? Let's attack out. Maybe they make blocks. I think it's our best bet. They're reading. Oh no. Reading will defeat our plan. Oh. We're not dead. Yippee. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, was what I said? Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, this is what I have to do. Did I kill myself, though? No, I have 1 blocker, so I am alive. Never mind, I'm dead. Well, we gave it our best shot. It doesn't really... The mercy. They've let us live. For what reason? Who knows? Okay. Well, we're alive. They have 1 card. I guess we should try to go wide. So we'll play our Scurryfoot. See, this is why you never give up. Maybe your opponent will... Oh, this kills us. We tried. All right, well, you know what? It's okay. I think we've learned that I can play a little better while I'm playing on camera, which is good. It's a good lesson to learn. I can play a little slower. I can explain myself a little better. And, you know, we'll just have to get them next time. I've talked about a couple of things we could have done differently in our draft. Definitely a couple different gameplay decisions we could have made. But, you know, 5-3, still not a bad record.